The morning sun peeked over the rooftops, painting the cracked pavement gold. The city was waking up, car horns, bakery scents, footsteps on concrete, and in the middle of it all was a boy. He couldn't have been more than 12. His clothes were worn, his sneakers mismatched, and on his back was a large plastic sack that rustled with every step. His name was Liam. Every day before school, and often long after it, he walked the same route through the alleys and parks, collecting empty bottles and cans. He moved with quiet focus, eyes scanning the ground like he was searching for treasure. Most people passed him without a glance. Some wrinkled their noses, others crossed the street, but Liam didn't care. He had a purpose nobody knew. At the corner of 8th and Maple stood a small cafe, Sunny Beans. Every morning, the same barista, Maya, opened the shop at 6 a.m. sharp. She'd see him through the glass sometimes, a small silhouette stooping to pick up bottles near the trash bins. At first, she assumed he was homeless, but then she noticed something different. He never asked for money, never dug through food waste. He was always clean. Tired, yes, but polite, quiet, and careful. And every morning, just before 7:30, he'd walk past the cafe, stop, look through the window for a moment, and smile. Then he'd move on. After a week of watching him, Maya's curiosity got the better of her. One morning, she stepped outside just as he was passing. "Hey there," she called gently. The boy froze, startled. "Sorry, I'm not bothering anyone. I'll move." She shook her head. "You're not bothering me at all. I see you around here a lot. You collecting bottles?" "Yes, ma'am." She smiled. "You can call me Maya. Want a hot chocolate? On the house." Liam hesitated. I don't take handouts." "It's not a handout. It's just kindness." After a long pause, he nodded. "Thank you." Inside the cafe, the smell of cinnamon and roasted beans filled the air. Liam held the warm cup like it was treasure. "So," Maya asked gently, "why the bottles? You saving up for something?" He looked down. "Yes, ma'am. For my mom." Maya blinked. "Your mom?" He nodded, eyes focused on the table. "She's sick. She's been in the hospital since before Christmas. The doctors say she needs surgery, but we don't have much. So I thought—" He stopped, his voice trembling. Maya leaned forward. "So you thought you'd help?" He nodded quickly. "They pay me 10 cents for each bottle at the recycling center. I make about $3 or $4 a day, sometimes more if I find the big ones." Maya's throat tightened. "How long have you been doing this?" "Almost a year," he said quietly. "Since she got sick." She blinked back tears. "You're a good son, Liam." He smiled faintly. "Mom says good kids don't have to be rich. They just have to try." After he left, Maya stood behind the counter, staring at the door for a long time. She couldn't shake the image of the boy walking away, small, determined, with that sack of bottles on his back. 10 cents at a time, trying to save his mother's life. That night, she told her coworkers. By morning, everyone in the cafe knew his story. A few days later, Liam stopped by again, just to thank Maya for the hot chocolate. But when he reached the recycling center, something strange happened. The clerk smiled and said, "You're famous, kid." Liam frowned. "What do you mean?" The man pointed to a jar on the counter labeled "For Liam's Mom." It was half full of cash. "What's this?" he whispered. "People heard your story. The lady from the cafe told us. She started a fund. We all pitched in." Liam's eyes filled with tears. "But I didn't ask for this." "I know. That's why people wanted to help." By the next week, the story had spread across the neighborhood. Teachers, store owners, bus drivers, everyone began saving bottles for Liam. The cafe even hosted bottle drives every weekend, where people came with bags full of recyclables and donations. Within a month, there were hundreds of bottles and thousands of hearts behind them. But Liam kept collecting. Even when people offered him cash, he still walked his routes, still filled his sack. When Maya asked him why, he said, "Because I promised Mom I'd help, and promises don't stop when people start helping you." One gray February morning, Liam stood outside the hospital holding a small envelope. Inside were dozens of bills, money raised by the cafe and the whole neighborhood, enough for the first part of his mother's treatment. When the nurse called her name, he followed quietly inside. She was thin, pale, but her eyes lit up when she saw him. "Liam, you shouldn't have come all this way alone." He smiled. "I didn't come alone, Mom. The whole town came with me." He held her hand and placed the envelope beside her. "It's not everything yet, but it's a start, and I'm not stopping till you're home." She wept silently, pulling him close. "You're my miracle, baby." Months passed. His mother's surgery went well. She came home weak but alive, to a yard filled with balloons and neighbors holding welcome signs. Liam ran into Maya's arms first. "We did it!" he laughed. "She's home!" Maya knelt, tears in her eyes. "No, you did it. You reminded us all what it means to care." Behind them, a reporter snapped a photo. A boy holding an empty bottle high in the air like a trophy, his mother smiling weakly beside him. The headline the next day read, "One boy's bottles filled a town's heart." Years later, when Liam was grown, he opened his own recycling center. But it wasn't just for bottles. It was a place where people could donate used items, clothes, and food for anyone in need. He called it the Promise Place. On the wall behind the counter hung a framed photograph of that day. Him, his mom, and Maya, standing outside the cafe that started it all. Below it was a simple quote: "Kindness is what happens when someone finally asks you why." If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, what's one small act of kindness you've seen that changed someone's life? Because sometimes a simple question, why, is the start of something far bigger than we imagine.